In this video, I want to walk you through why markets are falling apart right in front of us, what major financial stress just triggered this massive sell-off, and why the White House has suddenly taken emergency action involving Ripple and XRP, because all of this is far more connected than most realize. Hey guys, welcome back to Whiteboard Crypto Update. In today's video, we'll talk about XRP. So be sure to stay focused, as you surely don't want to miss out on this. If you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe to the channel and turn on post notifications by hitting the bell so you never miss any of our uploads. This video is for educational purposes only. It is not financial advice. Always do your own research before making any investment decisions. Now, if this is your first time experiencing a major crypto crash, welcome to the space. This is something that unfortunately happens in cycles, and for those who have been here for years, you already know these extreme moves are almost part of the process. But before we dive deeper into exactly what's happening and why this moment is so important, I want to point out something critical that many in crypto are missing. These kinds of events often signal the end of a major downtrend. And honestly, I was hopeful this time would be different. I thought maybe we had already seen the bottom and the market would slowly recover in a smoother pattern instead of crashing hard like before. What traders call a rounded bottom, where fear fades gradually instead of all at once. But instead, we got another sharp flash-style drop, and as painful as it feels, this is actually a very common structure when crypto forms long-term bottoms, because markets look for a big emotional event to force capitulation, to shake out leverage, to push people into panic selling, and I believe that event just happened. Everyone is searching for something to blame, some headline or trigger, and while there are many factors, there was one major disruption in the financial sector that appears to have set this in motion. And I have to be careful how I explain it. But let's just say we recently witnessed the first major financial shock of 2026, something that many believe could be followed by more if current monetary conditions continue. And when moments like this happen, pressure spreads across every market. Institutions rush to protect capital, leverage gets wiped out, and crypto tends to feel the impact faster and harder than most assets. But here's where things get really interesting, because right after this massive liquidation event that reportedly erased over $2.5 billion from the market, the White House announced an emergency crypto summit, and not just with random companies, but specifically calling in Ripple and Coinbase, which in my opinion sends a very powerful message, because it shows the administration understands that the traditional financial system is under serious strain and the old infrastructure is struggling to hold up. We're seeing cracks forming across banks and institutions. And instead of continuing to patch the same outdated system, there's now increasing urgency to modernize it. And this is exactly where blockchain and crypto technology come into the picture. For years, people in this space have said that if systems like blockchain had been widely implemented before the 2008 financial crisis, a lot of the damage could have been reduced because crypto offers lower friction, faster settlement, lower costs, and much higher transparency, which are all things the current system lacks. So now, as pressure builds again, the government appears to be turning toward crypto innovators to help upgrade the financial rails. And what's fascinating is that the moment news broke about this emergency meeting, the crypto market started to stabilize. And XRP in particular began forming what looks like a bottom at a historically important liquidation level, a zone we've only visited a few times before, once during a major crash in October, and another time back in April 2025, during a large market shock tied to economic tensions. And each time that area marked a turning point, which makes this moment extremely important, because if the market holds here, it could represent the bottom of this entire move. And while I never expected prices to drop this low again, when you zoom out and consider the stress in traditional finance, the delays in regulation, and the lack of clear rules for crypto adoption, it becomes easier to understand why panic took over so quickly. The real problem is that clarity has taken far too long. Crypto technology has the potential to fix many of the weaknesses in the financial system. But without proper legislation and guidance, large institutions have been hesitant to fully adopt it. And now, with pressure rising, the urgency is stronger than ever, which is why, if in the coming days we see real progress on regulations and clear paths forward for companies like Ripple and Coinbase to upgrade infrastructure, I believe we could see a strong rebound from here. But if delays continue and nothing changes, then the stress in the system may keep growing and more disruptions could follow. That being said, the fact that the White House is stepping in and hosting an emergency summit tells me they recognize action is needed now. And this places Ripple in an incredibly strong position because Ripple's technology is built specifically to move money efficiently, provide liquidity, and modernize financial networks, which is exactly what the system needs during times of stress. At the same time, there's been a lot of attention recently around Bitcoin and some early figures connected to its creation, with various documents and information surfacing that are bringing more focus to the origins of Bitcoin and the mystery around its creator. And for years, Bitcoin was seen almost as this perfect, untouchable asset created by an unknown genius figure. But as more information comes out, that image is slowly changing. And eventually, it's likely the real identity behind Bitcoin will become public. And when that happens, Bitcoin will no longer be this mythical concept. It will simply be another technology created by people. And at that point, many may start questioning whether it truly fits into the modern financial system compared to faster, cheaper, and more practical solutions like XRP. And notice something important here. The White House isn't calling in Bitcoin's creator. They're calling Ripple. They're calling major infrastructure-focused crypto companies, because what the system needs right now isn't just a store of value, it needs new rails, new plumbing, and real-world financial solutions. And that's exactly what Ripple provides. As the traditional system continues to struggle, XRP has the opportunity to step in, fill the gaps, and become a key liquidity asset for the next generation of finance. And over time, this could lead XRP to be viewed as a flight to safety asset within the banking sector, something reliable, efficient, and deeply integrated into financial operations. And when you compare where Bitcoin's reputation stood just a few years ago to how perceptions are slowly shifting now, it becomes clear that the narrative is changing. Because once people believed Satoshi was this perfect unseen figure with no controversy attached, but now, as more information surfaces about early connections and developments, that idealized image is fading. And realistically, any real person behind that identity is unlikely to match the unrealistic perfection the market once priced in, which means continued revelations could weigh negatively on sentiment. Meanwhile, Ripple continues to strengthen its role as a real-world financial solution, and the cracks we're seeing in the traditional system only highlight how badly infrastructure upgrades are needed. And the reality is, Satoshi isn't being called to the White House. Brad Garlinhouse and Ripple are along with major industry leaders who are positioned to help modernize the financial system. And I truly believe they are going to play a massive role in building the next layer of finance in the United States, with XRP emerging as a premier Tier 1 liquidity asset in this new system. And as the saying goes, never let a good crisis go to waste, because often the biggest transformations come out of moments like this. And it feels like we are watching the beginning of a major shift happening in real time. Well, guys, that's all we have for you today. What are your thoughts on XRP? Get involved and let us know in the comments down below. If you guys like this video, then be sure to give this video a big thumbs up. Thank you for watching.